Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic 2006. This is the exact same terrible fight as with Sonic. As far as I can tell, there are no changes to Iblis's behavior whatsoever, so again, whatever you do, rigid pattern, 4 hits, entirely scripted. A lot can still go wrong, so this S-rank you're watching took me 3 tries, which is 2 too many. One kind of impactful difference is that due to his longer homing attack, Shadow has a much easier time going from one platform to another 2 over. Otherwise, I won't waste words and your brain cells detailing this shit again, so let's talk about something else. First of all, structure. You might notice that after Kingdom Valley we went straight to the future, one level earlier than Sonic did. Then came Flame Core, now it's Iblis, and we're actually going to have another level straight after with Rouge's solo endeavor. Then we still aren't done with this comparatively breakneck pacing, as Shadow has another boss in the future before he's finally allowed to go back home to his own time. Of course, a lot of the reason for this unbroken chain of levels after just a little bit of overworld stuff is that there is no future hub world, which I think was planned at some point. Because Shadow goes into the future so early, it makes his game structure really weird. Considering that town missions are often used as tutorials for some of the more obscure mechanics in this game, it also means that we got a front load of them, having already done 6 of Shadow's only 15 before the second level. This way they could introduce at least the buggy with 2 missions, not the hovercraft though. And have us do some maths. Of course. But considering that they are optional and don't actually tutorialize well at all, their use for that is questionable in the first place. Rather, what town segments are good for, in general, not only this game, is giving you a little break in the action, allowing you to play around at your own pace and getting used to the controls, do optional stuff like collecting medals or set town missions. Or not, that's what optional means. And of course, just experience the world itself. Talk to NPCs, get setting information, see Easter eggs, and so on. This being the third story you likely play, it's not crucial to have these things, but as the stories are supposed to be equally valid experiences, it's sticking out. It's another more subtle thing that makes Shadow's story feel off in some way. And as I've stated many times, I actually quite like most of his levels, and I think he does have the best written story, so that's another crying shame in that regard. Speaking of the writing, I rarely talk about it, but let's indulge for a moment, because this fight's not getting any better. I've mentioned that it's actually rather important that Shadow and Rouge spot Omega lying around. It sets up what's easily the best part of this game's cursed story. After this boss, the second part of the setup happens, and I have to point this out because you're likely to skip it even when playing casually. For once, the game will do something with the repeated cutscenes. It'll show how Sonic and Shadow used the 2 emeralds they got in the past levels to open the time portal back, which is a repeat. But in Sonic's story, the cutscene ends with Shadow looking back towards something hidden from the camera. This time, the cutscene will keep playing and show what he's looking at. This is fantastic and exactly what a story with multiple intertwining viewpoints and timelines should do all the time. And of course, then we get to a plan Rouge forms, without telling the player so they can figure it out themselves, leading into a big payoff one sequence further after the final boss fight in the future I already talked about. This is perhaps also going to be the only instance of the game using its dumbass time travel setup in a very clever way. This will probably be the only instance of me praising the plot as well, but this is again absolutely in line with the mission statement here. I am aware that the game is not good, but there is hidden potential buried everywhere, and here it is for the story. This is how good it have been. Now let's speculate in the comments if it's canon that Shadow or Sonic kill Iblis too. Get your votes in. Now about the rest of the video while we finish up here. There is going to be a little bonus at the end, which is not necessary to watch because, you know, that's what a bonus means. It just shows off one thing, and that is you can play perfectly in this fight, in the sense that you never get hit, you get all of your hits in on Iblis whenever he's open, you do not waste any cycles whatsoever, and you still do not make the S rank because You didn't collect all of the rings of rings immediately, before Iblis does his first attack where he crushes some of the pillars. In the attempt which I'm going to show at the end, I left one ring of rings for later. It's 12 rings. Iblis destroyed the foothold underneath it and never replenished it. And that meant that I could not get the S rank no matter how well I played. Which is bullshit. I hate this fight so much. See you for a bit after the cutscenes.
Perfect. Chaos control!
Shadow. Shadow. Shadow? And he doesn't have a Chaos Emerald anymore.
Agent Rouge, report your status immediately. Have you retrieved the Book of Darkness?
Well, I'll provide a full report shortly. Right now, I have a priority situation to deal with. I need to contact E123 Omega immediately.
Well, I just said that Rouge doesn't tell us her plan, but now the loading screen spoiled it. Great job making me look like an asshole. Anyway, hope you liked the rant more than the fight. Get it? Like? And don't forget to slap fight in the comments who actually beat Iblis. Enjoy the failed run and thanks for your attention.
Not a chance.